Hello everybody, welcome back to TSCC Radio Station. Once again, we have our brother Zhihang here to share with us on his journey within the NS life. Okay, so NS means National Service. Okay, so just to recap last Saturday what he has said. Okay, basically he has shared with us his perception before he got enlisted, and then the preparation mentally and physically before he went to the army. And then also his life, his experience during his basic military training for the first 3 months. So today he will continue to share with us his experience with the next more than, I think, 19 months of the training after the BMT, right, where he will share all his encounter inside the camp. Also his experience in the National Day parades. And most important of all, I think unique to you one is the parachuting experience. Okay, so without any delay, Zhihang, I hand over the mic to you.
So anything in particular you all want to know about one?
Okay, so for the adaptation, once you join, right, after your BMT, you're posted to your unit, which is the same unit. So during that time, right, you will meet up with a lot of different people, which is almost your age, all from different background. How do you adapt to this new family of yours for the next 19 months?
Well, I think it's the same with any new group of people you meet, whether it be at school, at work. You need to have basically certain people skills. You know, being courteous is one very important thing. When people are nice to you, you be nice back to them. And even if they're not nice to you, you have to show. You should be the bigger person in being able to, turn the other cheek sometimes.
Like what is taught in the Bible, correct?
Yes, of course. Yeah, basically be a nice person to interact with. You know, when people have a good time interacting with you, you naturally will be able to naturally you'll be able to get along well with anybody.
So inside, right, I'm sure you will encounter people who is very courteous, also people who is not reasonable. So be it your peers, your superior, or your bunkmate, okay? So when you meet this kind of those unreasonable demands, right, let's say from your superior, what normally will you react?
Well, if it's something too ridiculous, right, it's possible to bring it up to your higher superiors. There's always one bigger fish than the person that bully you, you know. But if it's something small, like being annoying or saying something that's not particularly nice, you know, what I do is I try to just let it be. If there's no bigger consequence to it, just let go of it, forget about it, you know, let it be.
So endure the unreasonable demand, is it?
Yeah, something like that. It makes it easier sometimes. You think of it as work, you know, it's just something I have to do. I do this to get paid. I know it's not the mindset many people in NS can have, but it's what I think. I have to do this just to get paid, even though it's not really a salary.
Treat like employment, is it?
Yeah, treat it like employment, basically. Something that you just have to do.
Okay, it's quite a positive mindset. So how about, coming to your own peers, right, which is your buddy mate, sometimes you will get sabo, okay, so what you will use the term, right, it's not that intentional. So how do you adapt to it or accept this kind of situations?
Well, I mean, in the moment, you know, sometimes when everyone is on time, but one fella, he has to go use the toilet, come down late, so everyone needs to hold push-up position, corporal punishment, wait for him. You know, this kind of time. In the moment, of course, I will always be angry. It's unfair. This guy so unreasonable. Why all of us must suffer for him? Everyone will have that kind of thinking, including myself. You know, but sometimes it makes it easier after a while if you treat it like a joke. You know, laugh about it, laugh it off. Makes the pain go away. You know, turn it into something good to look back upon, actually, you know. So after a while, we can talk about, I remember that time that guy went toilet and we all late, then we need to get punished because of him.
So you have encountered like situations where there's the area cleaning, somebody forgot to clean and then get punished, all these kind of things?
Yeah, of course. In the moment, it was a bad experience, but now look back upon it, it's more funny than anything.
I understand you are a weapon specialist during your vocation, right? Correct? It's one of your vocation. So actually, what's about it? Can you describe a little bit of what I mean by the weapon specialist?
So within the commando vocation, there are also more vocations within the commando formation that a fighter will have to learn. So the one that I went into, weapon specialist, will learn to operate weapons other than the standard SAR-21 assault rifle. We'll learn things like the general purpose machine gun, GPMG, the smaller other light arms and support weapons like the SAW, P90, and some more unique weapons like the Matador, which is a rocket launcher.
So all this equipment, when you go for any mission or your training mission, so you carry all these weapons. How heavy are all these weapons?
Well, I already ORD already, so you know the numbers slipping off. But a typical, a weapon, the SAR-21 itself is already 2 kilograms, and all these support weapons can be 5 kilograms, up to I think 8 or 10 kilograms for the GPMG and the training rocket launcher.
Well, how heavy is a GPMG? 20 kilo?
No, I don't think it's that heavy. About 10, I think. 10 less.
So prolonged carrying is how you protect yourself, a precaution to make sure you don't injure while you're carrying this weapon for long hours.
When it comes to load bearing, it's not just the weapon, it's also the way you pack your bag, you know. Things, other than a weapon, things like water and your gear made of metal, all those are quite heavy also. So important things like keeping the weight higher up on your body instead of having it sag on your lower back. That way it protects your back, you know, then you can lean forward to bear the weight. So more of the weight is in line with the waist instead of it pulling on your spine backwards. You know, reduces the risk of injuries like slip disc.
I see.
Yeah, other things less obvious is when walking, must always pay attention to the ground you're walking, because spraining your ankle without carrying anything when you're running is quite bad already. So if you're having an additional 10, 20 kilos on your back and you sprain your ankle, the injury will be far more severe.
I see. Yours good tips for those NS men now. Okay. Then now we come to the interesting topics, which is parachuting. So only your vocation will have this so-called parachuting. So what kind of preparations or ground preparations that you all do before you can actually go for your first jump?
So before you go for first jump, there will be between 1 and 2 weeks of what they call the basic airborne course. We'll learn things from the most basic things like how to land properly, which is probably the most important thing. You know, things like keeping your feet knee locked tight when you land to prevent dislocation and injury. Then further, other than that, you'll learn how to steer the parachute, what to do when there's a malfunction drill, you know, how to deploy the reserve parachute. Other ground drills include how to exit the aircraft, you know, using aircraft mock-ups, all those, carrying dummy weight. The weight of the parachute is quite heavy actually, so we'll be carrying.
About how many kilo then?
Hard to estimate. 10 maybe 10. You know, carrying the weight, getting used to it. And above that, probably the most high-tech one and a luxury that I didn't realize, you know, state-of-the-art facility that simulates like an airborne jump. You know, this is like a roller coaster ride. You rig yourself up to it, then you drag off a platform and you drag you around.
Actually, they do this simulator equipment inside the camp itself.
Yeah, it's it's really high-tech, high-end, state-of-the-art stuff. You know.
Too bad you cannot take the photo, right? It's all sensitive.
Of course, no in-camp photo, Official Secrets Act, but it is on the MINDEF website if you are interested to find out more.
I see. It's good that actually they do these precautions, all the preparation for things. Then after that, in terms of safety measure, right, what kind of the precaution they take? Let's say, I understand that like the people who prepare the parachute also is quite critical, right, for all these things.
Yes, so the vocation in charge of preparing a parachute, these people are called riggers. They have their own specialized training that I don't think I can qualify to say. But to say that checks are thorough is an understatement. It's more than thorough.
Okay, and then I understand that your parachute, when you choose, right, the main suit and the spare suit is all from different packing, is it right?
That I'm not so sure. It could be a myth, it could be true. You know, it is unsure.
Okay, sure. And then also, I don't know whether it's true. I heard also is that if the person will pack is quite limited, that every day they can only pack to a certain amount so that they can good concentration of packing the soup, correct?
Well, that may or may not be true. It would make sense if it's true. But given that the process of packing takes quite a while, right? If they are packing by hand a day, they probably couldn't finish that many. But if I'm not wrong nowadays, right, the standard parachute, they would it is not hand-packed anymore.
Is it?
It's a machine-packed, but I think the checks are still done by humans.
I see. Okay. Then also, okay, this one is before. After preparation for your 2 weeks so-called airborne training, right? So when you go to the first jump and you all board the plane, this is where your first jump comes in, correct? Is doing what, Charlie 130 or helicopters?
Yes, depends. For me, it was the Charlie 130, C-130.
Yeah.
But people will do on the Chinook also. Yeah.
Okay. So you jump from the plane that time, the very instant before your feet leave out of the place, how you feel at that time? Scared or not scared?
Everyone is scared. If anyone that done airborne before tell you their first jump, they are not scared. They are lying. You can do all the mental preparation you want. Walking up the plane, sit down on the plane take off already. Also not scared. Can one, that's possible. But when you stand up ready, or the static line hooked up, and when the door opens, that is the scariest moment. When you actually look out the door and see the ground, right?
Yeah.
And you know that you have to jump out of the plane into that. That is the real scary.
You regret that? I should have not come. You can opt out not to jump or not if.
Oh yeah, if at that moment you really cannot already, your leg really shaking, your mind black out, you can opt out not to jump. If you say you're not confident, they won't let you jump.
I see. Then you cannot finish your course already.
Yeah, not just you. Anyone behind you also cannot jump.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Cool. That's the rule.
Cannot cut queue one.
Okay, so the moment you jump, right, is you put out your soup or it's automatically open?
So the parachute we use, this is called a static line parachute. It's a common misconception that most of us will have to deploy our own chute.
Yeah.
Actually, the way it works is that the moment we jump out of the plane, right, there's a mechanical system, right, that automatically deploys the chute immediately. It won't be up to us. So you can actually be unconscious when you go out of the aeroplane. The parachute will still open. One.
I see. So the moment you go down, jump. How long you will reach the ground? How high? Actually, how high is the jump?
Singapore practices 1,000 feet.
And how long it take to reach the ground? It should be very fast, right?
I mean, trying to recall, it's been so long since my last jump. I think less than about a minute or so.
Okay, so
it's not that long. It's not that long.
Okay, then the moment you landed, so what kind of feeling is that? Wow, safe already.
The landing.
Thanks God.
Yeah, I guess the landing is the end of it. Yeah, I mean, but when you land already, you need to pack out the parachute and walk back. So that's when reality hits again. The most memorable part is still the 1 minute or so of slowly falling down and watching the sky scenery.
So you enjoy the scenery?
Of course.
Okay, good. Then after, how many jumps you need to do to finish your course?
The typical NSF is expected to complete 5 jumps.
5 jumps. So given a chance, right, you would like to continue jumping or not?
Of course, for free, why not?
Now it becomes like you're not afraid because you already did the first one, then subsequent a few more, right?
Yeah, once most people after their first jump, they will willingly go for another jump one. It's just a good experience. It's adrenaline rush. After you get over the fear of the first jump, it really comes naturally.
Okay, so the next topic, so the question that we're going to go is the National Day Parade. I'm so lucky. So everybody wanted to go and participate in National Day Parade, and yet you have been selected, correct? So when does actually your practices start for this year NDP?
Let me think back. So if I'm not wrong, our practice started in May. Yes, we started practicing in May.
Yeah.
That was if I'm not wrong, it was our own in-camp rehearsal because we were concurrently practicing for SAF Day Parade.
Okay.
I think combined rehearsals started no later than July.
So it's quite a consistent every weekly practice or every day?
Every week there will be practice. Okay. Every Saturday is the combined rehearsal that everyone's aware of. Then there are also Wednesday practices, shorter ones, when it's closer to the actual day itself.
Okay. Yeah. So that means it's quite that means from May start, it's quite 4 or 5 months preparation, 4 months.
Yeah, it's quite a lot.
Okay. And then just for the parade of I think less than 2 hours. So you think it's worth it?
I mean, really depends on how you measure worth. It's a tiring experience, but having a lot of people wanted to, just
if you look at the photos, so you are the guards of honor, correct, for this one?
Yeah, that one is a real privilege. You have to, they say best of the best For the Navy, it will be the elite naval diver unit. For Army, it will be the best combat unit. It's not. Actually, it's not automatically supposed to be the commandos.
And some more, it's not all selected, some more, right?
No, those that are available will all have a chance to go.
I see.
Yeah.
So you see, looking at the picture, so this one is so good. It can capture you during the national parade. So it's a rare chance. Okay. Then also, I think you're standing there. Most of them were, the president will walk past and then will talk to a few people. So are you all expecting her to go and talk to you?
Actually, no, but no. Before that, we'll know where she'll stop, who she'll shake hand with, all that already.
Already, also in the rehearsal already.
Yeah.
I see. Okay, then after that, anything interesting during your National Day parade practices or throughout the whole process of preparation?
Well, out of the ordinary, I don't think there isn't much memorable experience. The whole experience of the whole is quite memorable, but maybe a few individual ones. I say there is one. I think those that are in Singapore quite familiar.
Yeah.
The second preview parade, we marching in.
Yeah.
By some happenstance, the front and the back of the contingent were marching on different legs.
Yes, it was on the YouTube, we saw that.
Yeah, that was a loose face, as they will say.
So when you all go back, any punishment for this?
No, bad for morale. I mean, people make mistakes. This sort of thing shouldn't get punished on.
You can't control. We saw it on the YouTube. I think it was posted, right? Correct. Okay.
More than enough.
Correct. Okay, then come to that. The next one, right? So after your 22 months in national service, right? So before enlistment, you have your perception about national service. People may think that why I'm chosen, why I waste my time there. So after the 22 months, now you're ORD last week, correct? So what is your feeling now? What's your perception towards the national service as a whole?
I mean, in general, I guess almost anyone going in will say it's a waste of time. Like anyone who tells you they think it's not a waste of time. I don't think they're saying it truly from the bottom of their heart. But when you come out, you can't say you don't gain anything. Everyone will gain something. Even if you don't know what you gain, at least you know what you don't want to do. Like if you come out, if you don't gain anything, at least you know what are things you do not like. Things you like that you can apply in your future. Like I don't want to join a company that is so top down and hierarchical like the army.
I see.
Yeah, at least you don't know you want. At least even if your NS experience is totally garbage, at least you know you don't like the army.
But at least physically they train you up.
Yeah, and other than that, physically of course we get trained up. And other than that, it trains for a lot of people, it trains them mentally also. Because NS for a lot of
endurance
people, right? I mean, when guys enlist into NS, it's right after their education journey comes to an end. Some people still have uni afterwards, but for most people, right, after that, right, they'll be going into what I call the real world, No more structure to support. No, they don't have a structured life anymore. They need to start looking for their own work, start looking for their own house, all that, NS is a good testing ground, a safe 2 years, right, for them to screw up a lot of things, learn from their mistakes.
I see.
And so when they go into your life, right, they're perhaps more prepared with some lessons they learn in NS, transition from school to real world.
I see. So any tips for our newly enlisted or those going to be serving their national service soon?
Wow. I guess have a positive mindset. Safety always number one. Don't worry don't be afraid to speak out if you think something's unsafe.
Okay.
And drink lots of water.
Drink lots of water.
Yeah, everything just drink water.
Okay, so we have come to the end of today's sessions. Thank you very much for sharing. So next week we will have our next guest speaker, which is Brother Le Yang, who is also now currently still serving the national service, to share about his journey in the national service. So we'll stay tuned and we'll see you next week. Bye bye.
Bye bye.